How do? Dystonia David Lowe here once again. In my first dystonia-related YouTube clip, I mentioned the problem that dystonia has in relation to the fact that it's nowhere near as well known as Parkinson's disease, despite there being more than 70,000 dystonia sufferers in the UK alone. And the problems don't end there, because dystonia is also notoriously difficult to diagnose and will sometimes be mistaken for nerves, anxiety, or some other psychological condition, rather than the progressive neurological movement disorder it actually is. Now, regrettably, that's exactly what happened to me in 1955 at the age of 9, when, following a tremor episode, I was diagnosed as suffering from anxiety. From then on, it was a case of, David's got nerves, you know. Nevertheless, I went on to learn to play guitar and ended up performing with a number of moderately successful bands in and around London during the 1960s and 1970s. Then in 1979, I decided to try my hand at disc jockeying. That went quite well, and in fact, 2 years later, in 1981, I broke into radio with the BBC, a career move that lasted for 32 years. Not exactly the kind of track record that you would expect from somebody who was diagnosed as suffering from nerves, I think you'll agree. Now, while all that was going on, this tremor condition of mine was increasing in severity. And eventually in 1985, I decided it was time to seek a second opinion. And after a couple of consultations, I was diagnosed as suffering from essential tremor, not anxiety, essential tremor. But I still wasn't convinced, and time went by, the head tremor kicked in, and then in 2010, I decided it was time to seek another second opinion. And it was then I was referred to a movement abnormality specialist who took less than 10 minutes to diagnose dystonia, dystonic tremor. So what I'm trying to say is this. If someone appears to be suffering from nerves or anxiety through an uncontrollable tremor or shaking, it doesn't mean to say they're suffering from nerves or anxiety. They may, in fact, be suffering, as I do, from dystonia, dystonic tremor. Talking of which, sadly, this dystonic tremor had wiped out my guitar playing days by 1990. But hey, I can still shake a mean tambourine without even trying. And I think that will go some way to proving that at least dystonia doesn't attack the sense of humour. I'm David Lowe, at Dystonia David on Twitter. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.